give a typical, or a case that you've looked into that shows what kind of pressures investors come under. I mean, you basically have suggested that they come under state pressure.
Not only pressure, but usually the usual case. Yeah, recently in 2009 we made a joint investigation with Spiegel, a magazine in Germany, and we showed the scheme when foreign investors gave $250 million to Russian state-controlled company, and finally lost their money. They couldn't get their money back for a long time.
Why not?
Though they have the letters, the comfort letters from the Minister of Transportation of Russia, they have the comfort letter from the head of the state-controlled company that everything will be fine. The company is really doing business for the state, and that they will have wonderful results. And this letter was sent also to Moody's rating agency, and Moody's gave the rating to the state-controlled company, VA2, with stable outlook. And in several months, the company just came to the bankruptcy. And
which company came to bankruptcy?
It is field FLC, the company, a Russian state-controlled company, a part of Russian aircraft corporation. FLC is doing the leasing business in leasing sphere, aircraft leasing sphere in Russia. So the problem was that investors gave their money and they trust the state. They trust those people who gave them these letters showing that everything will be fine. They thought, I understand the investors coming from the West because they trust the state. Usually they trust the state. If the state officials tell them that it's a state-controlled company, and it was really so, they think that they have much more, much more opportunity to control the situation and much less risks. In Russia, it's not working.
Okay, but I mean, there's always a risk in business. What's wrong with this picture?
They gave this money, and the money were transferred from this corporation through different companies to absolutely different private business.
So it was stolen.
They were invested in German yards, in purchasing of yards in Germany. Now the criminal investigation has started in Russia, and according to the letters from this criminal case, we have some documents from this criminal case. The investigators consider that money that were taken by the state-controlled corporation, they simply went through different channels and were invested finally in purchasing of yards in Germany.
But there's sleazy people everywhere. What is different about Russia now from other places?
First, you can't have absolute trust to the state. You can't hope that the state will solve this problem even after some juristic procedures. You can't trust criminal cases, you can't trust criminal investigations, and of course you can't trust local laws. Unfortunately, the businessmen in Russia, and foreign businessmen in Russia too, they need to understand that they need some contacts, really good contacts in law enforcement, because they need to protect themselves from criminal investigation that can be started easily. And they need contacts with powerful people. It is nearly impossible to act in the Russian market without having these contacts. And all the Russian businessmen knew it. And I suppose that foreign companies that are coming in Russian market and are active in Russian market, they understand that they need to act according to local rules. Unfortunately,
Dmitry Medvedev has said that, President Medvedev has said that he's going to fight corruption. He has said this again and again and again. We all know that corruption is a huge deal. Have you seen any changes in this? Have you seen any accountability? Any cases brought against
Well,
corrupt police, corrupt officials who were...
In this case, for example, concerning $250 million, the representatives of foreign investors had to send a letter to Putin, trying to show the situation at least to the top.
I'm sure he gets a lot of mail.
I'm sure they had no answer. They had no answer, and as, for example, a former director of IKEA, we can draw the other example, was told, and he was writing about it in his book, he had the information, he was told that just the meeting with Putin, the opportunity to meet Putin, will cost him something like $5 or $10 million. He never understood whether it was a joke or not, but it was pronounced. Yeah. So it can show that, unfortunately, now Russian top officials cannot entirely control this corruptive system. It is working sometimes independently from them. When the system is corrupt, it's impossible to control it from one point. It is,
As a reporter investigating corruption and corrupt business practices, how much can you actually do in Russia under current conditions?
well, I don't think that there are any limits. If we are not talking about Northern Caucasus, that is extremely dangerous region and the region with absolutely unpredictable authority. It is quite safe to make publications in Russia. We can make these publications for several years in Novaya Gazeta. We are making a monitoring of the businesses, of the families of top-ranking officials, and also the businesses of the friends of Vladimir Putin. And we made several publications about his friends around Gazprom. For example, we found something like 13 Putin friends around Gazprom and made a publication, Putin's 13, about how these people linked with Gazprom and how their businesses depend on Gazprom, what they are doing around this company. So there were no reaction. I don't feel that we have any pressure after it. So if we are talking about economic investigations, if we are talking about...
But can you get people to talk? Can you get documents? Can you get information?
We can get information. The only problem is not too many people are eager to discuss it. If we're talking about Russian businessmen and foreign businessmen in Russia, sometimes it is difficult for them to talk about corruptive practices. That is quite understandable because people need their business, need some development in Russia. And they are working, as I told about it, according to local rules. And local rules sometimes demand the things they will never disclose here. They will never talk about them.